Once again, visionaries and decision makers from across Africa and the globe have joined to shape the energy narrative, not only for these continents, but for the world.
A platform where the continent's most transformative energy stories are being told and shaped.
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of Energy Frontiers. I am Bosin Omofaye. Now, the Nigerian Liquified Natural Gas company, also known as the NLNG, says it has generated a total of $138 billion since 1999. The joint venture company created between the Nigerian government and international oil companies over the past years says it has also created revenue or earnings directly to the Nigerian government to the tune of $43 billion and even more in dollar dividends. Now let's hear more from this recent briefing by the CEO of the company, Adeleye Falade.
In the exploration, in the oil production, gas production, there are many things that happen there. But the ones that you see colored in dark green, those are the areas where, as a company, we operate. So we don't produce the gas. That's done by companies upstream. We actually buy gas. We buy, like the power companies buy gas. We buy, like the industry buy gas. So we buy gas. And it's important to emphasize that, because many times when people think about us, they think about us as, why can't you give gas? No, we actually buy gas and we treat that gas. We remove impurities, we liquefy it, we put them on vessels, and then they are sold around the world. Traveling on the seas, customers in Asia, customers in Middle East, in Europe, everywhere. Our ships, we have about 22 of them, and I'll talk a bit more about them. We're also involved in marketing, where we sell the gas. Our business is such that before you even take your investment decision, you need to have people that have signed that they will buy the gas. Why? Because it's pretty expensive. You want to make sure that you have a market for it before you go into that investment. And we run a plant. A plant that currently has 6 trains, 22 MTPA, is the largest industrial complex that we have in the whole of sub-Saharan Africa. 22 dedicated ships, 21 of them that lifts LNG, and then one that does LPG. And I'll speak a little bit about that. So that gives you an idea of where we play in the entire value chain. So we buy the gas, we remove impurities, we liquefy it, we transport it, and we sell it. A bit around the facts and the figures and the statistics, just celebrating what has been not just our success, but success of Nigeria as a country. Since inception, over 6,000 cargoes delivered safely across the various continents that we have. We haven't been in all. We supply LPG to the domestic market, and I'll speak a bit about that as well. Last year was the highest volume that we ever supplied in a single year, where we supplied 500,000 tons of LPG. We started the business of supplying LPG, and LPG is cooking gas, by the way. So we started that around 2005, where we started about 70,000 tons. At that point in time, where we had 100% of the market share. Today, we've graduated to being able to supply 500,000 tons, but that's just about 33% of what the country demands. So on one side, demand continues to grow, which is good. But on the other hand, we have also increased what we are selling. We don't have 100%, but we've increased it in terms of volume. I did mention that we have 20 vessels, 21 vessels, actually 22. 20 of them dedicated for LNG, one for domestic LPG. In terms of asset base, our asset currently is valued at about $23 billion. And right from when we started, we've generated about $150 billion in revenue. We've managed to pay almost $50 billion as dividend to our shareholders. And our shareholders are four, with the federal government being the dominant shareholder, 49%. Shell, Total, and ENI are the other shareholders. Over the years, what has been received in dividend, it's about $47.2 billion. And right from when we became tax compliant, because we had a pioneer status that exempted us from tax, but right from when we became tax compliant, we've paid tax in excess of $10 billion to the federal government of Nigeria. There are other things that we pay, which are not reflected here. The gas that we buy, about 60% of what we pay for that gas goes back to the federal government because of their equity participation in the upstream companies. We pay the tertiary education tax, the value-added tax, the company income tax. Proud that we are the highest in the country that continues to do that. Over the past 5 years, company has continued to win the award as the most compliant taxpayer in the country. We get that from NRS, but even at the state level, what gets paid under the personal employee income tax as well is quite significant. So those are the hard facts, but just to give some context around it. It's not just those facts that speaks to us. In recognition of what we have done as a country, we've also been celebrated in various forms and shapes. In 2020, the company was declared the company of the decade. Many international, global awards that we have won as well. Just this month, earlier this month, we at the Nigerian Oil and Gas event in Abuja, we won the Operational Excellence Award in the industry. And there are many and many more of such that continues to validate the standard at which we operate and the level to which we operate as a company. In terms of, maybe just to say a bit about that, our company is a company that is 100% led by Nigerians. If you look at the senior management team, they're all Nigerians. They've been Nigerians leading the company for about the past 20 years. I think I'm the 5th Nigerian that is going to lead the company. So I've had 4 other people who have led. The level below that, fully Nigerians. If you look at the company itself, about 97% are Nigerians. So when we talk about the company, we're not talking about a company that is being run by people who are not Nigerians. And that's important because it tells us what we can do as Nigerians operating in a country like ours, but operating to international standards and being able to compete globally. We have a role to play in the energy transition. When NLNG was conceived, part of the primary thought was to find a means to reduce the gas flaring and monetize it. And at that time, Nigeria was one of the highest countries flaring gas in the world. But right from the inception of NLNG, our contribution had been such that we have reduced the national flaring from about 65% to less than 20% today. Half of the gas that we get in the plant is what we call associated gas. That's gas that comes as a result of the fact that we are producing oil. This is gas that people were flaring before. In some cases, they pay penalties on it. But because we presented ourselves as a business case that is viable and able to monetize the gas that is being flared, we were able to contribute to that extent. Nigeria is a gas country. Much of the gas that we're even producing right now are not dedicated gas fields. They are gas that comes with the oil. Proven reserve is about 290 cf for Nigeria. There's still another 600 TCF that has not been taken through the accounting process, but that exists. And people tend to think about our country as an oil country, but really we're a gas country with some oil. And I'll speak a little bit about that and why that is also significant for us as a company, but also as a country. In energy transition, we continue to also play a dominant role. I talked about the cooking gas that we supply to the domestic market. 100% of our cooking gas right from 2022 is domesticated in Nigeria. And why do we do that? Why was that decision taken? We used to export it. But I think we came across the publication in Punch that gave us statistics that suggested that every year we have about 100,000 people that die due to smoke inhalation. Mostly women who are trying to put food on the table. And at that time, we prided ourselves in being a global company that is helping to build a better Nigeria. And we then faced a dilemma and a moral question. If you're really trying to build a better Nigeria, how do you demonstrate that? And that was when that decision was taken by our board. And so we contribute in reducing deforestation, in the reduction of biomass being used for cooking, coals being used, reducing pollution and emission in our country. And we do that by making sure that LPG becomes much more available. Gas, we have seen it to be cleaner, it's cheaper, it's affordable, it's available. And that we continue to do as part of our role in contributing to the energy transition in Nigeria. And we continue to drive that industry. We continue to contribute to it. And we're happy at the impact that it's making currently in our country. But that's not just the only thing that we do. Also in the areas where we operate, we get into partnership, if you go to the next slide, with our host community. And when Elkanah was speaking earlier on, he spoke about the complaint around you flew us into Bonny for the Bonny Bodo Road and you flew us out. I think I'd like to announce to you that when next you come, you will drive on that road. That road is completed, fully completed, 39 kilometers, 12 bridges, 3 major bridges, 9 minor bridges. But for the first time has opened Bonny to a way it has never happened before. If you want to come into Bonny, you're either flying in very few flights. It's just, I think the company operated flight, but most go by the sea. And there have been a lot of piracy on the seas. Even when we move our own people and products, we have to get accompanied by Navy in order to keep people safe. But you have the smaller boats that they experience a lot of turbulence and lives have been lost. So this is the biggest corporate social responsibility in value, but also in significance. And that road has been completed. We're actually waiting for the federal government to give us a date on which that road will be formally commissioned. But that's not the only news. Our board, working together with the government of Nigeria, with the Minister for Works and Housing, is now partnering together to also extend that road from Bodo down to join the east-west road. It's about 8.9 kilometers. Federal government has awarded that to Julius Berger. We're discussing how NLNG can also support in funding it under the Executive Order 7 by which we did the Bonny Bodo Road itself. And that changes the ecosystem on that island. People can move freely. Goods and services can move. The dynamics has changed completely. And we're happy to be part of that. I mean, that's also a tip of the iceberg of what company has done. If you get to Bonny today, it's perhaps the only place where you have 24/7 electricity, because we have invested in supplying power to the community from the power that we generate in our plant. And we continue to do a lot more. When we conceived this at inception, it was expected that it was going to cost about 120 billion. At completion, we spent double that. But the good news is that that road is open, that road is being used. I've traveled on it myself, and it makes a lot of difference. Let me talk a bit about our growth. I think the immediate growth that we have is our Train 7 project, and you most likely would have heard about it. Happy to announce that work is progressing well on it, and our intention at this point in time is to complete that project safely and to complete it to specification. The completion of the Train 7 is going to increase our LNG capacity by 35%. It will take us from 22 MTPA to 30 MTPA, but it will also increase our LPG production by 50%. So today, last year we did 500,000. By the time we have Train 7 fully on stream, we will be able to get an additional 250,000 tons of LPG that still comes into the market, and it's one that we're looking forward to. Today, we have close to 16,000 people that work every day at that site, trying to make sure that we complete it safely. Earlier on, I talked about the fact that we are a gas country. We're not an oil country, we're a gas country. And saying that we're a gas country in itself doesn't count. It's not just what we have, it is what we do with it. And when you look at other countries, look at their reservoirs, look at what has been proven compared to the capacity that they have, we're just scratching the surface of our potential. So if you see on that slide, Australia, that has proven reserve of about 128 TCF, has a capacity of about 88 MTPA. Malaysia, that is just 97. Don't forget, we are 209 proven, plus another 600 that is yet to be proven. Malaysia has capacity today that is even more than us. Indonesia, same thing. I don't even want to go to Qatar. But then you look at us, 209 TCF and just 22 MTPA. So at that point in time, it became obvious to us that we needed to be more ambitious about our growth. That was when Train 7 came on stream, and we felt that Train 7 was a response to our ambition. But by the time we finished Train 7 and Train 7 started moving on, going into construction, it became obvious that we needed to redefine the level of our ambition. So today, we've started having initial conversations and doing exploratory activities around what will it take to grow to Train 8, Train 9, Train 10, what would that take in order for us to be able to achieve that? Still very much at the embryonic stage, but it's one that company is already having conversations around, and we're defining what will be required for us to be able to grow beyond Train 7. So we do have a growth agenda. And as we look at the next slide, I think the key point for us is, while the world has moved away from sources of energy that are very dirty, and the biggest culprit is coal, it is not because coal has disappeared. In Enugu today, we still have massive deposits of coal. So it's not just enough for us to say we have abundant gas resource. It is what we do with our gas. We will get to a point where maybe the next item to get off the table in terms of its relevance will be gas. And while we will still claim that we have abundant gas reserves, the opportunity for us to monetize it, perhaps we have lost it. And that's not lost on us. So there is a window within which we must also take advantage of the resources that God has given to us. What all of that does is that it ties into our own growth agenda. While the world is transiting in the energy space and moving from dirty energy sources to cleaner one, what has been established is that gas is still extremely dominant in the energy mix. Not just for today, not just in 10, 20, 30, up to the next 40, 50 years, gas will still be dominant. But we can't assume that that window will be open for a long period of time. So as a company, just for ourselves, but also influencing what happens in the country, we're pushing the advocacy for the use of gas, for the utilization of gas, for the maximization of gas. Is one that we will continue to leverage, is one that we will lean into, but is one that we're also going to encourage the country and other stakeholders to get involved in. Now, gas is not just only useful for LNG, where we're into, and LPG. It has a lot of application also in the petrochemical industry. So whether it's the fertilizer industries, whether it's cosmetics, the key ingredient is gas. In transportation is gas. We've started having compressed natural gas buses. We're having hybrid vehicles right now that are moving on gas. And what all of that is doing is allowing us to be able to maximize that potential that God has given us as a country. And at the heart of it, we'd like you to remember that NLNG is playing a big role. So as I bring this to an end, what is the message? We have to unleash our gas potential as a company, but also as a country. People talk about us and what we have been doing, and we acknowledge it, but we think that journey has just started. And as we continue on our own journey of becoming, getting bigger, taking advantage of this for every of the stakeholder involved, we're looking forward to a brighter future that we will not just talk about 30 MTPA, but will grow significantly beyond that. As at about 3-4 years ago, NLNG had 6% of the global market share for LNG. 6% of what is being produced globally comes from NLNG. I think today we are down to 5%. There are other countries that are growing. If we don't do anything, we'll go down to 3%, we'll go down to 2%. But that's not our dream. Our dream is that we'll continue to stay relevant, even in the global space.
Now, from the first historic LNG shipment to Europe in 1999, the NLNG says the company is now positioning for more innovation and sustainability. And that's it on this edition of Your Energy Frontiers. I am Bosun Omofaye, and I'll see you soon.
Karibu sana, Akwaba, Saubona, Ekabo.
Good morning and welcome to African Energy Week 2025. In this year's Energy Week, we commit to positioning Africa as a true global energy champion.
It is indeed an honor to be here at the 5th African Energy Week. 5 years ago, many of you in this room, you asked us to build something more than a conference. You asked us to build a movement that will speak up for our continent, that will speak up for an industry.
The story of African energy is one of immense promise, and the leading chapters are still being written, supporting a continental marketplace where innovation, investment, and ambition converge. Let us make this the decade in which Africa's energy sector not only meets its potential, but leads the world, driving prosperity, resilience, and transformation.
So by working together with respect, with strong partnerships, Africa's journey towards a just and sustainable energy future will prove it once again. Africa is opportunity, Africa is energy.
It is important to give women a seat at the table on decisions relating to energy security, particularly on the African continent, where the energy industry is opened and the market is opened and widened. All businesses can benefit. Diversity is good business for all organizations.
Africa's time is now, and Africa must take the opportunity now. Capital is very mobile, it's going to find opportunities somewhere. And as long as we can ensure that there's policy harmonization, we can go further together.
Across our continent, we are blessed in abundant resources: oil, gas, solar, land, the wind. We also have all the necessary resources to develop our country.
As we've been hearing from many of the presentations here, there is enormous proven resource in Africa. All over the place, onshore, offshore, everywhere else. But the investors need three things. They need that proven resource. They need a predictable rule of law that if they put their money to work, they can pull money out at the proper time. And three, they need a predictable enough security environment. If you do those three things, a lot of good will flow.
Yes, Africa's energy sector holds immense potential, but the truth is Africa's tired of just saying potential. We want now reality to sink in. We need to have forums that have outcomes that we implement for ourselves.
Over the last few days, we've seen incredible collaboration.
Our future and Africa's future is not for us to predict. It's for us to create. And we create that by driving those new chapters and produce energy for every African. That is a must, and our generation can do it. It is not impossible. Let's go, Africa, and thank you guys so much, and I really appreciate it.